Parashat Lech Lecha. One of the most amazing encounters in the Bible is the very special encounter between Abraham and Melchizedek, the king of Shalem. It's fascinating that this is the very first time Jerusalem, the city of Jerusalem, appears within the Bible. And the context and the textual difficulty are very interesting and will reveal, I hope, an amazing truth. The Bible has told us that there were 4 kings who completely terrorized the Middle East. They were terrorists, and they had captured Lot, Abraham's nephew, who was a civilian. He was actually a civilian judge, and they took him captive. The 5 kings, who were the other kings in the area of the Fertile Crescent, were not successful in trying to rout and ultimately vanquish these 4 terrorist kings. But Abraham feels he has no choice. He must protect his nephew and adopted son. Most of all, he must fight terror. So Abraham goes out to fight, to do battle. His army is much smaller than the army of the 4 kings that went out before him. And Abraham miraculously wins. What follows is fascinating. Genesis, chapter 14, verse 17. The king of Sodom comes out to meet Abraham after Abraham has vanquished these 4 terrorist kings. And the Bible tells us the exact place of their encounter. That's verse 17. And then there is a 3-verse kind of digression. It's almost as if there are 2 cameras on the stage. And first, Abraham returns from battling the 4 kings, and the king of Sodom comes to meet him. And then, on the other side of the stage, Melchizedek, literally the king of righteousness, Melech Shalem, the king of Shalem. Yerushalem is the city of peace, Jerusalem. So Melchizedek was the king of Shalem, and according to our Midrash, he was the son of Shem, the son of Noah. Melchizedek takes out bread and wine, and he's a priest of God on high. Kohen Le'el Elyon. And Melchizedek blesses Abraham. And he says, "Blessed be Abraham to the Lord on high, the owner of the heavens and the earth. And blessed be the Lord on high, who has given over your enemies into your hands." And Abraham gave to Melchizedek a tithe from everything that he had won. 3 verses on the other side of the stage. And then we go back, verse 21, to the initial story of Abraham together with the king of Sodom. And the king of Sodom says to Abraham, "Let's divide the spoils. Give me the people that you captured, and I'll let you keep the booty." And Abraham says to the king of Sodom, "God forbid, I don't want anything, not even a shoelace. I don't want anyone to say that he made Abraham wealthy. Whatever I have, I want to come from God." What's going on? Why the interruption? And what does this have to do with the future of Jerusalem? Remember that Jerusalem is the city of peace. Remember that all of the prophets will say that ultimately from Jerusalem will come the word of God to all the nations of the world, that the nations will come to the Holy Temple as a magnet, and they will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks, and they will accept a God of love and compassion and morality and peace. Two individuals see the same act, one with religious eyeglasses and one with totally secular eyeglasses. The king of Sodom, who had just lost the battle to these 4 terrorist kings, sees Abraham's victory and gives it all sorts of interpretations. Abraham knew the terrain better. Abraham was an activist and an idealist, and he fought with more passion, but he's not really interested in that. He's interested in dividing the spoils, business as usual. You take the people you captured, Abraham, and give me the booty. Someone else, as in Rashomon, saw the same thing. And that was the king of Jerusalem, the king of righteousness. Remember, Jerusalem must be the city of righteousness, says the prophet Isaiah. And Abraham has to ultimately teach the world compassion and righteousness, tzedakah and mishpat, moral justice. So this Gentile king of Jerusalem, a son of Noah, a grandson of Noah, a son of Shem, he sees the same thing. But he has the tradition, which still existed in Jerusalem, of one God over the entire world. He wasn't Jewish, but he was moral. He was a child of Noah, and he understood that there was a God over the universe. He wasn't a Hebrew, but he was a moral human being, the way all human beings must become at the end of the days, after hearing the word of God from Jerusalem. And therefore he understands the miracle. He blesses Abraham in the name of the God on high. He blesses the God on high who miraculously gave Abraham's enemies into his hands. And Abraham repays him by giving him a tithe and understanding that sometimes a Gentile can be like a Kohen, a high priest, and deserve tithes if he recognizes God and he teaches morality and righteousness. It's a magnificent vignette. It demonstrates what we feel about the nations of the world. Most of all, it demonstrates the ultimate mission of Jerusalem. Shabbat Shalom.